Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Chase here at Rocky Mountain. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I've got this. This is the all-new Garmin inReach Messenger Plus. This is the newest addition to their inReach lineup. It came out in late 2024, and today we're gonna break this thing down. Now, when it comes to Garmin inReach devices, if you are new to these, most people are now familiar with satellite two-way messengers. If you are not, if you're new to inReach, there's two main reasons that you would want this. So first and foremost is that it's going to allow you to 24/7 from pretty much anywhere in the world send messages or even emails via satellite through their Iridium satellite network, and it's going to allow you to do that without cellular service. So it doesn't matter if you're overlanding, camping, hiking. I own one personally. I use it when I go for hunts or if I'm going camping with the family and I'm not going to have service. It will allow you to still send messages to friends and family in those situations. It's priceless. The other main feature is the SOS capabilities. If you are out, you do not have cell service, and you do find yourself in an emergency situation, whether you're injured, if you get to a location and you're trapped by weather, you can't get out, it doesn't matter. You can press the SOS button either on the device itself or via the app, which I'll talk about here, that you download to your phone. That will alert the IERCC, which is Garmin. They own it. It's the International Emergency Response Coordination Center. It goes to them. They see your exact location when you press the SOS button. And they can also message you. You can message them back and forth to let them know what is going on. And in those situations, they are locating and dispatching local authorities to your exact location. And depending on what the situation is, if you need a helicopter because you have a medical emergency, you need a life flight, whatever it is, they will get the correct authorities to you. And it just gives you a peace of mind that for me is irreplaceable. So I just got back from an eight and a half day bow hunt that I did in Idaho, and I had no cellular service for the most part the entire time. I had my inReach Messenger. My brother, who was also there with me, he had a Garmin inReach, so we were able to communicate and talk back and forth to each other while we're on the mountain, but I was also able to keep tabs and still talk to my wife and family back home. So it's just, again, it's a peace of mind that is irreplaceable no matter what you're doing. If you don't have cell service, I really do think that when it just comes down to safety, these are one of those must-have devices. That being said, we're gonna break this thing down and talk about what is new with the Messenger Plus, some of the features that you're gonna get compared to the other Garmin devices. But like I said, I've done a whole lineup video where I break them all down, so go watch that. Today is mostly gonna be about the Messenger Plus. Before I dive into it, common question is yes, you do need an active subscription for any of the inReach devices for them to work. So once you buy it, so this thing just carries a steep price tag, you're about 500 bucks. But after you've bought it, you go to Garmin's website, you create your account, and you sign up for a plan. And there's all different plans. In fact, they just updated their plans. There are freedom plans, which are just month to month, and each plan is going to give you an allotted amount of text messages that you can send. Sending a message is one, receiving a message counts as a message, and then you can go all the way up to unlimited text messages. It just depends on how much you think you're going to use your device and what you're going to be using it for. But remember, get signed up, activate it first. What's nice though is that they do allow you to test it anytime you're going to be going out. It's free to test it. It's not going to count towards your messages, and that just lets you know, okay, it's active, everything's working, ready to rock and roll. Okay, that being said, IP rating, so IPX7, so dust proof, water dust resistant, but I mean, you could submerge this in water, you're gonna be just fine, don't leave it in there, but you can keep completely wet, it's very dust resistant, you're gonna be just fine. They're built really well, so I like how small the unit is. It weighs less than 5 ounces. The battery life on these is really, really good. Now, battery life is a sensitive subject because they'll sell you up to about 4 weeks of battery life with the Messenger. That's in ideal conditions. So you can have tracking turned on for these. You can do 10-minute tracking, you can do less than that, you can do more than that, and I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But a 10-minute tracking, if you're sending a text message every 10 minutes, you get, they say, about 4 weeks of battery life. It definitely comes down from there depending on how much you're gonna be using it. So for me personally, I have just the regular Messenger, which is very similar battery life. And after 9 days of hunting, using mine pretty consistently each day, I did not have tracking turned on, but I was sending messages all throughout the day. My battery was down to about 30% after 8 or 9 days, which I think is still phenomenal. To have it turned on every day, to be using it every day, and to still have that much battery left when I was completely done is plenty for me. There's not going to be many situations where I'm going to be going more than that without having a way to recharge my device. And so, yeah, but the battery life on these is pretty dang good. What is cool about the Messenger devices is that you have reverse charging. As long as you have more than 25% battery life on your Messenger, you can actually use it to charge your phone. So let's say you're in an emergency situation and you're using SOS, but your phone might die and you want to still be able to use it to send your messages, then you can just plug it in, and I believe it will charge your device for 20 minutes. So kind of cool. Again, just a little extra peace of mind knowing that you do have a way to charge your phone if you are in that situation. But once you've downloaded, or excuse me, you've created your account, you've signed up, there's two other things you're going to want to do. You're going to want to download the Garmin Explore app, which is their GPS navigation tool that goes right to your smartphone. And then you want to also download the Garmin Messenger app. So here's why. The Explore app is going to be Garmin's full GPS that you can download to your phone. You can download routes on there. You can see your tracks. You can also mark waypoints on the Garmin Explore app and some other cool features. So if you don't already own a handheld GPS, or if there's not another app that you use on your phone, for me personally, I don't need the Explore app because I use Onyx Maps. So, but if you don't have an app that you already use and you want to start using a GPS on your phone and you want a two-way messenger, this will give you that capability. And then the Messenger app is what I would use for sending messages back and forth. And it's very simple to use. It's very straightforward. It's just like sending messages on your regular phone. And so there's the Messenger app and the Explorer app. If you're not worried about having a GPS on your phone, if you already have something else that you use, you don't have to download the Explorer app if you don't want to. I would just download the Messenger app. You're going to be just fine. But here's what's unique about the Messenger Plus. So we've already mentioned it. You can send messages back and forth. How long does that take? Kind of depends on the conditions you're in. For me, real world experience, 5 minutes I say is about a safe number on how long it's going to take to send or receive messages once somebody so let's say you send a message out, that person receives the message, they send it back to you. 5-10 minutes is about how long it would take for you to receive that message back. And again, that can vary depending on the conditions that you're in. If you're in heavy tree cover, for me, when we were back at camp, I had a nice heavy-duty canvas tent that I was in. Obviously, that's going to make it a little harder for the signal to get out. That also does bring your battery life down. So in those situations, it might take a little bit longer. With the Messenger Plus, they've actually updated the antenna inside here to help you send and receive messages a little bit faster. How much faster? They don't specify because it depends on the conditions that you're in. But if you want to be able to send and receive messages as quickly as possible, the Messenger Plus is going to have the most up-to-date antenna inside there. Here's some other cool features that are unique about the Messenger Plus that you don't get with any of the other inReach devices. You can send pictures now via this. You can also send voice messages. Voice messages can be up to 30 seconds. And again, it just depends on what you're going to be doing. If you're going on a backpacking trip, you're going to be going to some cool locations, you want to take pictures and send those without cell service, you can do that. If you like the idea of being able to do voice messages versus just regular text messages, then hey, heck yeah, get one of these things. And the people that receive your voice messages, they can send voice messages back to you. So again, just giving you a few more little perks there. Another nice little thing too about the Messenger Plus compared to just the inReach Messenger or the inReach Mini 2 is that you get up to 1,600 characters in one single text message from the Messenger Plus versus just 160 on the regular Messenger, which is what I have. Again, for me, not that big of a deal. I'm not sending these crazy long text messages when I'm out there, but if you do want to be able to send longer messages, it's going to allow you to do that. All right, some other features. When you sign up or you buy any Garmin inReach device, you create your account, and if you have tracking turned on, what is cool is that Garmin does have a website, and you can have it to where you give a login, so a password, to the people that you want to be able to see. But if you have tracking turned on your inReach, friends and family back home can go to their computer, they can log into the Garmin's website, and they can actually see your tracks and see your exact location. So if you want people back home to be able to keep tabs on where you're at, that's a simple, easy way to do that. What's also nice too is that when they log in and they're looking, they can actually just type out messages right there on the computer and send it to your inReach. They don't have to have their phone. So cool thing that Garmin does do with that. Now, a couple things you would also want to know. Garmin inReach devices do not have a dedicated phone number. So every time you reactivate it, you have to send a message first to the person that you want to communicate with. So if you just leave for a trip and you've got a buddy or a family member back home that you've never messaged from your inReach device, they cannot message you first. You have to message them, then they message you back. Then from that point forward, they can message you as much as they want to, but you have to initiate that conversation. That is something that you might not realize, but it is important to know. What I like to do is before I go out on a trip, if I know there's going to be 3 or 4 other people that I'm going to want to talk to, or if I want them to be able to talk to me, I'll just send them a message before I go. That way they can just message me whenever they want to from that point forward. Let's see here. SOS. If you have to use the SOS feature, like I said, IERCC from Garmin, they own it, and the Iridium satellite network is what Garmin uses. And for me, from what I've heard, all the research, it is the best satellite network. It's going to be the best coverage, get your messages sent and received the best. But if you have to hit the SOS button, let's hope you don't, what happens is it goes to their call center. Like I said, they can see your exact location. They will message you. They will ask you what's going on. They want to get as much information as possible. When you create your account, you have your emergency contacts, and it will automatically notify your emergency contacts that you have pressed the SOS button, so they also know what's going on. And then Garmin, their call center, is going to reach out to those people as well. But while they're messaging you to figure out what's going on, they're going to get in contact with the local closest authorities to you and get the help that you are needing. So like I said, that's the peace of mind that is irreplaceable. In fact, we have a rider here at Rocky Mountain, broke his femur when he was riding his motorcycle up on a trail, did not have cell service. Garmin inReach is what he used. And they had to come and they had to fly him out of there with a helicopter. They were able to get exactly to where he was, and they dropped down a basket, picked him up, and took him off. So we've got a real world SOS user here at Rocky Mountain, and it's saved his life, did exactly what it needed to. So again, you can't replace that. Some other little things you'd want to know about one of these. So yes, with the Messenger Plus, you can use just the device itself to send messages back and forth. However, it is very time consuming. It sucks. It's 1 letter at a time. It's worse than T9 texting. It takes forever. You're always going to want to use your phone as often as you can when you're trying to send messages with your inReach. And that goes for any of the devices. Just open up that Messenger app, just like send a text message, so much easier. I would use this to send your messages as a last resort. Or again, if you have less than 25% battery life on this and your phone's about to die, then yeah, you could use just this to send messages if you had to. What is nice is that there is a check-in button on here. And so the check-in buttons or messages are freebies. They don't count towards your messages that you pay for. And so what you do, again, when you create your account, you would just go in there and you would have your preset messages. Okay, you can't customize those, and once you're out and about, unless you have cell service, you can log into your account, you can't change it, but you have a preset message that can go to certain individuals, and you can just send that by using the device itself. That's very simple, and that can just be, hey, all done for the day, just checking in, or getting my day started, or hey, just letting you know everything's good. You can send those out. Easy to do from the device because you don't have to type anything, and it just sends a message right away. So ultimately though, with the Garmin's, again, inReach devices, they're awesome to have. I've used mine so much over the years. Luckily, I've never had to use the SOS, but if I ever had to, it's nice to know that it's available. I love being able to communicate with friends and family, or if somebody else is out there with you, they also have an inReach device, you can message back and forth. So hopefully this has kind of helped you decide or know what these are capable of, and if the Messenger Plus is what you want. Again, I had that breakdown. If you want just the ability to be able to just send messages back and forth, you're not worried about being able to send picture messages or voice messages, if you already have another app that you use for a GPS, then get the Garmin Messenger. If you want the GPS capabilities with the Explorer app and messaging, but you're not worried about sending pictures or voice messages or any of that, then the Mini 2 is going to be a great option. So go watch that video. But if you have questions, comments, please, I'll get those answered. Leave them below. To grab this or see the other options, click the link or head to RockyMountainATVMC.com. We ship for free over $75. And if you want to stay up to date on products like this, get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel. I'm Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.